So just it's been on my heart. I think someone shared it during the week. But the Kathab read in Mashapad is going to come from Isaiah Yashayah chapter 55. And I think either the morning prayer or the noonday prayer, someone offered it up. But it's timely. It keeps, it's just like keeps reverberating in my spirit. This is Isaiah 55, and I read from the KJV just for the sake of time. Isaiah 55, and I'm going to start at verse 8. Yashayah 55 and 8. Slakia, let me, man, this is one of those powerful chapters. Let me go back up. Man, I don't want to hold y'all, but let me go back up. I'm gonna start at 6, Isaiah 55 and 6. It says, "Seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him. And to our Elohim, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahweh. For as the Shemayim or heavens are higher than the Arataza, the earth, so are my ways higher than yours, higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Isaiah 55 and 10. "For as the rain cometh down and the snow from Shemayim, and return not thither, but waters the Arataza, and make it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater." 55 and 11. "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. For ye shall go out with joy and be led forth with shalom, peace. And the mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hand." So, man, let me go ahead and finish one more verse. "Instead of the thorn shall come up the fir tree, and instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle tree, and it shall be to the and it shall be to Yahweh for a sham, a name, a fame, for a everlasting athah or sign that shall not be cut off." So these prophecies just keep reverberating in my soul, and me and my wife were just laughing at their current leader, POTUS, and his homeboy now at odds with one another. So if you're paying attention, the Most High is doing everything he said he was going to do. He's going to have these people in derision. They're going to turn on one another. So if you're paying attention, if your eyes are open, if you're really, spending time in the prophecies, the Most High is doing what he said he's going to do, and he's going to bring us through in shalom. And when they're in famine, we're going to be in feast. And like I said before, me and my wife, we done been through so many changes, or I done took her through so many changes. Let's stockpile some food. Let's stockpile some weapons. We don't. The Most High is going to provide everything we need. He promised to do it, and His word shall not return into a void. All praise to the great I Am for the read of His holy word. With that, I yield. I'm going to take my camera off. I'm going to turn it over to Shamaria.
All right. Can you see my screen up?
Con.
All right. Shalom, family. Shalom. All praises to the Most High and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, for His mercy is good and endure forever. Um, the water to Abijah and Gamariah as well, um, just for uh, their platform and the trust that they have in me to bring a word forth. Um, and of course, we represent in the Most High, but anything I say obviously is going to be representation of them as well. So um, really don't even ask me what I'm going to talk about. So it shows a lot of trust there, and it is a lot of responsibility. So all praises to the Most High for that, um, and even just the relationship, in itself. Um, we know how to work together and not be in each other's way or overburdensome to one another. So I appreciate that style that he has, and is very appreciated as well. Um, just gonna continue on from last week, um, dealing with the fig tree, and it's kind of this part right here. I'll just breeze through. It's kind of a review. We just covered it last week, and I'm pretty sure if it's not on YouTube, it'll be there on YouTube as well. Didn't add a whole lot, but added some more context. I think it all comes together pretty well, especially with the Kathab reading that he just read, which wasn't planned at all. So, all praises to everyone. Nice to see you all back again on the Zoom, and I pray that the Most High can speak through us today, and someone can get something valuable from this lesson. So we talked about the fig tree last week, and we looked up the Hebrew word, which was for fig tree, which was ta'ana, and we were saying how, or I was saying how it was very unique because it's rare to find a word that has the ah sound as the consonant in the middle of the word and actually be seemingly correct. So obviously, if new information comes out, we're definitely willing to change. But so far, it seems to fit very well, and we covered it and gave the definitions, as we know that it can be meaningful of more than one thing, and a few of them we came up with was that it was a mark of the first seed or the first fruit, a sign of the beginning of life, and a sign of the beginning of the new year being established. I thought that was very powerful, considering the function of the fig tree, how they operate, and the fact that the Messiah used that in a parable, which we talked about in here as well. But something that I did want to say, talking to a coworker, he was telling me that he was out cutting his grass not too long ago, and he was noticing that some of the trees in his area were already turning colors like it's supposed to be quote unquote fall. And I'm just laughing and just like, man, wow, like, it's amazing. And I was telling him, I said, I said I need to take you down a couple areas down and talk to my friend and tell him what you saw. I was talking about Abijah, but he said he was gonna take some pictures and show, and I kind of remember too, it was like July last year, and I was telling my mom, like, Mom, if you notice right now, nobody's thinking about it, nobody's paying attention, but the leaves are already turning colors. They're not falling all the way off or anything like that yet. They're not, you know, all the way brown, but if you notice, they were already turning colors, and then people just it not paying attention. It just seemed like things just pop up out of nowhere. So I don't know if anyone else has seen that or heard that or anything, but I just thought it was interesting because it seems like with the way we keep time and then being mixed in with the Roman Gregorian time and then mixed in with the Most High saying that things would be shaken up and seasons going in and out of one another according to Enoch. So it's kind of like a mix, and then us being babes and not knowing like really how the world works. So I just thought it was interesting. But go ahead, you got your hand up.
The water. I just remember last pagan year we was at the Neil's house and Kapal was like he noticed his leaves were down. I think it was like mid July or close to
Mm-hmm.
August, and his leaves were down. So I just used that as a marker.
Yeah, and it's and it's funny when it's somebody that tells you about it that they're not even practicing the same faith or count and time as we are. So that's just something interesting to note, family. So we talked about how this marks the sign of a new year and things of that nature, and we brought up how fig trees work and that they are among one of the first fruit trees to bear fruit after the winter, and it's one of the first witnesses of the shift from winter to summer. And that goes along with what Yahushua was saying in Luke 21 as he was talking about the judgments and things that you shall see that should be the sign of the coming of him and also the change over in the order of the world. And he says the same thing: when you see the fig tree shoot forth, you shall know of your own selves that summer is not at hand. Right? So we went in on the topic, the fact that the Most High only created two seasons, summer and winter, but each season has two parts, an early part and the latter part. So this early summer, summer, early winter, and winter. And we just covered a bunch of precepts that covers that, such as Genesis 8 here: while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. So we went over that just in case people have never heard that before, or were still following or familiar with the way that the Roman Gregorian time has been kept, just to give that information, because it's not good to assume that everybody either remembers these things or that everyone knows these things. Because I personally have a problem with that sometimes, thinking that, oh yeah, they know that already. So trying to be better in all areas. So just felt like to give context to what the Messiah was saying and why you always see things like summer versus we never see spring and fall written in the text, comparison to winter and summer. So we covered that, and then we got into the Most High comparing the fig tree to Israel or Yasharallah. And we read Jeremiah 24. Jeremiah 24 talks about, though you'll be sent into captivity into Babylon, the Most High said that there will be good figs and there will be bad figs. And believe it or not, that's how the fig tree works. It produces early fruit, good fruit, and sometimes there's figs that come up that are unedible and you have to check them. So he was saying that the ones that were unedible were comparison to the evil figs, or the evil people out of the people that has been scattered. And he said that pretty much the righteous ones, the righteous remnant, that he was going to restore back to the land, and he was going to bless them. He was going to restore them back to the land and to bless them. Just to read it real quick, a little bit of it, I'll turn to that real quick just to give a refresher for that. So Jeremiah 24 and verse 1, it says, Yahweh showed me, and behold, 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of Yahweh, after that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and the princes of Judah, with the carpenters and smiths from Jerusalem, and had brought them to Babylon. 1 basket had very good figs, even like the figs that are first ripe, and the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten, they were so bad. Then said Yahweh unto me, What seest thou, Jeremiah? And I said, Figs, the good figs, very good, and the evil, very evil, that cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, the power of Yasharallah, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them that are carried away captive of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. For I will set mine eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to this land, and I will build them and not pull them down. I will plant them and not pluck them up, and I will give them a heart to know me, that I am Yahweh, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power, for they shall return to me with their whole heart. And as for the evil figs, which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely thus saith Yahweh, so will I give Zedekiah the king of Judah and his princes and the residue of Jerusalem that remain in this land, and them that dwell in the land of Egypt, and I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth, for their hurt to be a reproach and a proverb, a taunt and a curse in all places whither I shall drive them, and I will send the sword, the famine, and the pestilence among them, till they be consumed off the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers. So the Most High compared our nation to the fig tree, and there's a few comparisons that he has made at different points of the Bible to this fig tree. So that's what kind of drove me to want to look into it further. And so that was the end of the first part of the class, and we'll get back into that right after this segment right here. So of course, you know, I try to just watch a lot and see what's going on in the world, and if it's something interesting, I will point it out and see what you guys' thoughts are concerning the signs and wonders, or us watching and praying. And this past week, it's a few things going on, but I only did one, and it's only one video to not belabor the point, because we see so many things. Sometimes it's hard to know what's real, what's not, what's fake. But there's a lot of things going on, and a lot of signs that we have seen, and we've even had, in this case, our own Lena and her husband, Jashir, point out that they saw the sun looking very dark, very like a dark hue of red, or super burnt orange looking. And it's been a phenomenon that's been going on in the States, especially across the South and the East, for a few weeks now. And also too, which I didn't put in here, but it just came to my mind, um, what they call the aurora borealis, which is where you can see like the colors of purple, green, blue, and all of these things in the sky. To me, it's like you're seeing the glow coming from the throne of the Most High, because the colors is just exactly how his throne and stuff is designed, and it's very rare for us to be able to see those colors, you know, in the States, and especially lower level lands. Is usually something that you see uh, closer to, I guess, what they call the North Pole, if I'm saying it right. So it's been a lot of signs and wonders going on in the heavens and in the sky. So I'm gonna play this video, but remember also too that the Messiah said that that would be one of the signs that shows us where we are on the time frame.
What has been going on with the sun? Have you seen any of this yourself in the last few days? It's been going on more and more in the last few years. The mainstream media tells us this is nothing more than wildfires in Canada, while simultaneously volcanoes erupting, and a sandstorm in Africa. But it's quite strange. In my nearly 40 years of existing, I have not ever seen this phenomenon, except the last few years. Just go onto Twitter, or X, as it's called now. Do a search for Red Sun. See all the photos and videos yourself from people all over this realm, reporting the same strange phenomenon. Now, unless you're fully boosted and love being told what to think, trusting the experts, you know this is far from normal. This was taken in London just yesterday. So what is it exactly? Some say it's a sun simulation. Some say it's the return of the fabled planet Nibiru, or even the start of something biblical. This last video I have comes from London, and it's the most fascinating one yet. Let me know what you think in the comments. And remember, question everything, friends. Until next time.
5 minutes to 9 in the evening, London time. This was during my live stream. To me, it looks like an alien spaceship. And then it's out of the blue. The ship's changed to like an apple. Look at it. Can anyone explain? Or if you live in central London, did you witness, look at the sky and seeing this apart from me during my live stream? It's so weird. The shape is, I can't explain it. All I can think of is like an apple shape or something else. It's definitely some kind of phenomenon. I don't know. What is this? Can anyone explain? JSM here, share your thoughts.
So there's, I mean, a gazillion videos on this, and some people say that they see where the sunset is on one side and then this thing is on the other side. I mean, like I said, I'm not here to say what is what and something is definitive, because, you know, you got a lot of fake things out there, things that people do for show, but a lot of, you know, our own people have seen the sun looking weird, or whatever is up there in the sky, a celestial body, you know, at this around the same time as all of these other videos have come out. And it's not like we're making up the fact that the Bible says that there will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. So we're just praying, we're just watching and praying, and we're seeing this as a sign as well. But it's very ironic. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's interesting that this is something that has definitely come up a lot recently. Even over the past couple of years, there's been periods where people have seen this in the sky as well. But a few years back, I had a dream that I wrote down, and I still have it in the inside of my book, my Apocrypha. And when I start seeing these videos, it just made me think of the dream that I wrote down, and I thankfully wrote the date on it as well, which was the night of April 21st in the year of pagan 2022. And in the dream, I said, I saw what looked like two suns in the sky. Then, as the picture was made clearer, the other great light was shown to be a new world, almost like a new earth in the sky, and it was to the left of the sun. And I had that dream, I guess, on the night of April the 21st of year 2022. So seeing people, you know, bring this up, and, you know, some of the videos, they show where they see two lights in the sky. But like I said, it's definitely hard to know and understand, you know, what's real, what's legit, and what's not. But I did have this dream, and I just believe that it was very interesting that this has come about. Obviously, we know that Joel 2, verse 28, it says that the Most High will pour out his spirit on all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. So we try, if we can remember, if you do have a dream that's seemingly possibly something to do with the way the world is working, or some type of parable or something that you don't quite understand, we try to write them down, because some dreams mean absolutely nothing. And, you know, the Bible, or some of the books they took out of the Bible, tell you that some dreams are from the Most High. And we know that that is a way that he communicates with us. So I just thought this was interesting, the signs and the times that we've seen everything going on. Who knows? Only the Most High knows what's going on and can share, enlighten us to the actual truth. But did anyone have any comments about things they have seen, that video, or the dream that we see that I have here on the screen?
Yeah, I seen people post. I missed it. I didn't see it myself. I seen the videos and the pictures on social media, but again, it's hard to say what's what with all this technology out here. You just gotta wait for the Most High to give us confirmation.
Absolutely. Dang, I wish I could. I might have to close this out. Y'all, this is not planned at all, but let me see if I can do this real quick. Naraya wants to share. He has no clue of what I was going to talk about or say, but Naraya wants to share this text message thread that he has with his family. Let me see if I can get this picture on the screen real quick. Let me do this. I'm gonna just put it. I might just put it right in the presentation. One second. One second. Let me make a duplicate. Duplicate. And let me delete mine. And let me take this one. Let me drag over. One second. All right. Let me drag this back. All right. Make it smaller. Make it bigger. All right. All right, that'll be good for now. So Naraya just sent me this. I hope it's. I'm guessing it's okay. He said, what did he say? Okay, yeah. Um, so I'm just gonna skip down to the part where it says, "Yes, I'll never forget the dream I had 2 years ago or years ago about two sons. That's one of his cousins. So that's like, let me see. I had a dream that I saw more than one sun in the sky, and his cousin said the same thing. And then Lawanda, his cousin that makes the good banana pudding, she says, "Yeah, we all have had a dream about two suns or two moons." Um, and then she said someone with the Torah group also had a dream, if I remember correctly. And she said the funny thing is that it feels like the Earth went through a warp zone or a portal, and you're telling me we're seeing planets closely with the naked eye. And then her son, I think that might be her son, said, "I don't know if it's a planet, but I know y'all heard about China recreating a sun, and that could be what everyone is seeing." But I just shared that to say that that was a witness that someone else or two other people have had dreams about more than one sun or more than one moon in the sky. And it's very interesting. Till the Most High gives us the clarity, we won't know for sure what's going on, but I guess it's something to mark down for sure. So, with that being said, and that witness, did anyone have any comments about that before we move on?
I just know that he's going to give us confirmation. So keep recording them, keep recording the dreams or the thoughts, and the Most High is going to give us the revelation.
Absolutely. Absolutely, family. Um, so, jumping back into the fig tree, um, I wanted to come at it from a different perspective this time, as we ended off with Jeremiah 24. and the Most High comparing Israel or Yasharallah to the fig tree. So with that being said, I came up with, when you look at the characters, the Ta, the Ah, and the Na representing a seed, the Ah representing the ox head and being first, and the Ta representing a mark, a sign, or a token. And thinking about how we know that this represents a mark of the first fruit or establishing of the new year, it also can represent a token of the firstborn, as it is one of the first um, renewed fruits for the year, with the mark representing the token, the Ah representing the first or the beginning, and then the seed representing, life being born, a token of the firstborn. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, for one, our Hebrew words just carry so much weight and so much meaning that, they cover a multitude of things depending on the context. But it also shows me a deeper meaning or reason why we would often be compared to a fig tree. Often be compared to a fig tree. Does anybody else see that or have any thoughts concerning that?
No, it's just confirmation of what Moshe told Pharaoh, that Yasharallah is my firstborn. So I mean, that's why I love it. Everything lines up. It's not we're not making this up. We're not stretching it. Everything lines up.
Khan, absolutely. So the firstborn, Ta'ana, the fig tree, Ta'ana, the firstborn. So seeing that, while we're often compared to the fig tree, and when we get the Hebrew meaning of Ta'ana being a token of the firstborn, just like Ak just said, um, in the book of Exodus, verse 22 of chapter 4, it says, "You shall say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahweh, Yasher Allah is my son, my firstborn. My son, my firstborn." Um, so to that, another witness to that is in Jeremiah 31:9, where he talks about, "They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Yasharallah, and Ephraim is my firstborn." Now we know that Ephraim was separated from the southern kingdom, but if we go with Exodus 4:22, all of Yasharallah is considered his firstborn. This is like an acceptance of the tribe that was sent away as well, and it still encapsulates all of us being considered his firstborn. And then obviously Ephraim just was the head of the northern kingdom tribes in itself. So the Most High often uses agricultural terms such as the grapes, such as the vineyard, such as the fig tree, to compare his relationship with his people. And learning these ancient manuscripts, ancient texts, and the meanings of the signs give us that much more clarity on what things mean. The Most High also mentioned this in Hosea chapter 11 and verse 1. Hosea chapter 11 and verse 1, it says, "When Yasharallah was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt." So the son that he called out of Egypt, he said that it was his firstborn. It was his firstborn, Ta'ana. It was his firstborn, right? All right. And another witness that we have here, it says, "Hear this word that Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Yasher Allah. against the whole family which I brought up out from the land of Egypt. Of you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. So, the family that he called up out of the land of Egypt as a nation, we just established that he called them his firstborn. And also, he doubles down by saying that he's only known us out of all the families of the earth. That's how we know that this book is for us and by us. But also, it says, I will punish you for your iniquities. Now, if you have a firstborn uh, in your family, and obviously we know in ancient culture, even if a son was born second, the son would be considered the firstborn. But just in general, even with how we live over here, the person, the oldest or the firstborn, is going to be the one that holds the most responsibility. So in your household, if the parents leave the older and the younger at the house by themselves, and something goes wrong, then the person that was left in charge or held with the most responsibility is the one that's going to be the one that is going to get the blunt of the punishment. Does that make sense?
It's cultural.
And they said Khan in the chat as well. And you know, so that's why, you know, that's why we are the ones that the Most High looks at and gives the blunt of the punishment when we do wrong. And we know that we see the other nations, even the nation that we're in now, full of iniquity, full of sin, and yet and still, you know, it seems like they're flourishing, even though we know that their punishment, you know, is in the midst of and continue to be so, and we know their expected end as well. Um, but the Most High is dealing directly with Yasher Allah, and we are his firstborn, being a representation of him. So therefore, the punishment comes to us first and at our front door. Another witness is you could substitute the firstborn with the first fruits. You could substitute the firstborn with the first fruits. And that is also ta'anah, and a reason why we are compared to the fig tree. So Jeremiah chapter 2 and 3, it says, Yasher Allah was holiness unto Yahweh, and the first fruits, or the firstborn, the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend, evil shall come up upon them, saith Yahweh. When he says Yasher Allah was holiness unto the Most High, it means that we were set apart unto the Most High. So the Most High took his first fruit, his firstborn, set them aside unto him. But isn't that also the rhythm and the way that the Most High runs his agricultural, his feast schedule, his law requirements, that the first fruits of the increase of the land go to the Most High? It's made holy, is set aside, is set apart, and sacrificed unto him. That is the same way that we are set apart out of all the nations upon the earth, set aside out of all the nations upon the earth as holy unto him, closer to him, first fruits of his increase, firstborn of all the nations to ever exist and that ever will exist in the land. So that is a high esteem, an esteem that, you know, we can't even fathom, you know, the blessing and the greatness that encompasses. But it's all praises to the Most High to be chosen. It just comes with a great responsibility. And we have a comment in the chat. It says, for whom Yahweh loveth, he chastiseth, and whom he scourgeth every son, whom he receiveth. And absolutely, we are loved. So the Most High is going to chastise and correct and scourge the ones that are a part of Him. And that's why maybe sometimes you have peers or associates that, and even if they're Israelites, they can do certain things, and it seems like everything is smooth sailing, and you do something, and it's like boom, immediately, you know, judgment has come down. Something has happened to you, um, inconvenience in some way, or whatever the case may be. And it could be the fact that you're chosen from the Most High, and He has to correct you and measure quickly to keep you on the right path. And those who you don't see the judgments quickly, um, don't think that He's not keeping a tally. You can see that in the book of Sirach. I think chapter 5 talks about that as well.
Also, I was just thinking, because a lot of the family, as we continue to tell them that we're the special ones, we're the chosen ones, you hear a lot of the arguments. I just can't see how one nation is better than the other nation. We all bleed the same, and we all, but just understanding the cultural context of first fruits, you know, the first fruit, I would say how much the tenth grape may be as sweet as that first fruit grape, but that first fruit grape was set apart for Yah. So it's kind of like we're not trying to tell these people that we're smarter than them or we're more holy than them, but culturally and spiritually with the Most High, we were picked to be the first fruit. So, I'm not trying to belittle us, but at the same time, it's like these people have to understand the cultural context. Like, yeah, we sin like you. Yeah, we stink like you, but we are still first fruit. So you may be just as sweet as the first apple, but that first apple was set apart for the Most High. You just can't get around that.
And it just goes into what the Most High was establishing from the beginning, and he told us, you know, we could read it in one of our favorite staples, Deuteronomy 7:6. He says, "For you are the holy people unto Yahweh, your Elohim, or your power, or your God." And just like what it says here, Yasher Allah was holiness unto Yahweh. That means we were set apart unto the Most High. It's just the simple fact that you are chosen. It's nothing to do with your own merit. It's nothing to do with you being better. And that's what he gave more context. He said, you're gonna be a special people that Yahweh, your power, have chosen to thee to be a special people. It wasn't like it was something you did. The Most High chose who was to be His special people, and then He went double down even further and said, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. This is His firstborn. This is His first fruit that He cherished more than the others. No matter the taste, the look, the smell, or anything of that nature, it's nothing to do with that. So you're absolutely correct. And he gives that context by saying, the Most High did not set His love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any people, but you were the fewest of all people. But here's the reason why. Verse 8, Deuteronomy 7. Because Yahweh loved you, and because He would keep the oath which He swore to your fathers, and Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of slavery, from the hand of Pharaoh. And we know that when He brought them out of the hand of Pharaoh, He said, get them out of here because they're my firstborn. Firstborn. And the Most High just told us in here that He says that the Most High is faithful, and He keepeth covenant and mercy, covenant and mercy, covenant and mercy with them that love Him and keep His commandments to 1,000 generations. So that's why we are often compared to the fig tree, ta'anah, representing the token of the Most High's first fruit, a token of the Most High's firstborn. In ancient culture, just to give some sources to, saying that the firstborn, it says that they they have the highest status and inheritance. And then the Most High just said, "You will be above all people." The firstborn is known to have the highest status and inheritance. Oftentimes, the firstborn will get a double portion of whatever the inheritance is, that the Most High has for them. And they carry the family name, blessing, and responsibility. So the family name, we're carrying Yashar Allah, meaning we're named after the Most High. That's why we are not to take his name, his representation, his fame, his token that he's given us through his son in vain. We carry that family name. We're the firstborn. So then we have the blessing that the Most High has told us over and over and over again. If you do X, Y, and Z, if you follow these commandments, these laws, these statutes that I have given you unto this day and unto this point, and obviously we know that every word that out of the mouth of the Most High is a commandment. He says, then I will bless you above all, other nations and people in the earth. The Most High is going to make sure that your cattle, your wife, are very fruitful. Your land is very plush. He's going to make sure no hurt, harm, or danger is coming upon you. You have the blessings coming out from each and every corner that you can't, even imagine. That comes with having that inheritance and that status as the firstborn. But then also comes responsibility. And then with the responsibility, there was more things I could have wrote in here, but just not to create confusion. As a nation, we are the ones responsible to bring the Most High's true word forth into the world. We're the ones that is responsible for showing how to keep his commandments, how to be wise, and how to plant and grow things, how to treat your brother and sister, how to build. We are the ones that carry that responsibility. And these things can be found straight out of the Bible, but also BibleHub.com, GotQuestions.org, MIYisrael.org also talks about the firstborn in the ancient texts and the ancient ways and the ancient culture. And we know that certain things kind of got divvied up even within us. We know that we have the Levites that do the service of the Most High, but as a whole, we are to all show the example of the service of the Most High to the other nations. So being the firstborn, you get the high status and inheritance. You're set apart. You're close to the Most High. You carry the Most High's name. You're a part of his family. And one thing about that, carrying the family name, so we know that the Most High is considered to be Yashar Allah's father. Your inheritance comes from your father. But when we were scattered into the land or to all of the four corners of the earth, and specifically here in the United States, I wish I would have had time to think about this and maybe find it and put it in here. But they have documents about how we don't have our father anymore, and that's why we don't have any land or place to go back to. That's why we weren't seen as fully human, according to the government and to the documents that they carry, because they say our father forsook us. We don't belong to anything or belong to anyone. Obviously, we know that our sin has separated us from the Most High, but he said that, because of his promises, he would never leave us or forsake us or destroy us utterly, and that once we come to our senses, he was going to have a time where he restores us and brings us back. But to them, they're like, obviously it's the time frame has been so many hundreds of years. They're saying we don't belong to anyone. We are not due any land. We're not due in any inheritance. All of those things come from your family name, come from your family representation, comes from your father, and he gives us those things. So we're waiting and anticipating that our father is back, uh, to let the world know that we are still his as we continue to wake up, and he will provide these things to us, um, once more. Provide these things to us, once more. Did anybody have any thoughts or anything concerning that?
Yeah, I was. It's funny how you saying carrying the family name, because I was at a job I think last week, and this new lady, I think she's new, maybe she's just coming from home, but she had, saw me in the break room, and I guess people, people are talking like that's him with the name, whatever, whatever, and that's him who wear the dresses or whatever. So she saw me in the break room, and she says, "May I ask you something?" I said, "Yeah, sure." She said, "What does your name mean?" And I told her. So that's awesome. And now that it's been like a year or two, I believe, like almost everyone in my department can pronounce my name, and they're taking pride that they finally can pronounce it. But I'm taking pride in I have you calling the Father's name. Like we're making the Father's name great again. And then our grandson just left yesterday, but I was so elated. He says it perfect. He's still learning how to speak, but one of his first clear, not first clear words, but he says Abijah just better than most adults. And I was telling my wife, like, that's his first Hebrew word, like reconnecting to the Father. So, I thought about that as you saying, just we carry on the family name. It's a blessing to teach people the Most High's name.
Absolutely. All praises for that witness, and that is, a part of the responsibility that we have to the world, and to the Arataza, that we carry the Most High's name in actual name, and then also in actual actions through representation of that. And when I talk about the name and the blessing and the responsibility, you know, just a witness is one that we love. Deuteronomy 4:6. Keep therefore and do them, which he's talking about his commandments. For this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. And he goes into more and more detail. Um, Verse 7 says, "For what nation is there so great, who have the Most High so near unto them?" So near. When you start putting the pieces together, keep hearing things like "so near unto them." And why would we be considered near unto Him is because He set us apart, first fruit, firstborn. That's all of those words go together. So near unto you, holy, set apart, firstborn, first fruit. All of those things correlate to one another. So we're so near unto the Most High, obviously because He chose us. And He says, as Yahweh, our power is in all things that we call upon Him for. And what nation is so great to have statutes and judgments so righteous as this law which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself and keep your soul diligently, lest you forget the things which your eyes have seen, unless they depart from your heart all the days of your life, but teach them to your sons and your sons' sons. So we are to continue to pass the family name and representation and responsibility on to the ones that come after us. Because as a nation and as a whole, we're the Most High's firstborn, and then there's going to be a firstborn of each family, and it just passes down, so on and so forth. So all praises for that. Then the Most High has just another witness to this ta'anah, the fig tree, a token of the firstborn, a token of the first fruit, Hosea chapter 9 and verse 10, it says, I found Yashar'Allah like grapes in the wilderness. So you see, we're always compared to grapes. We talked about those before, the vine tree, and the fig and the fig tree. He says, I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at her first time. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at her first time. So, like we were saying earlier, the fig tree is one of the first trees that bear fruit after the winter. And the Most High saw our fathers and our ancestors as righteous, the good fruit that comes out of the fig tree. But then they went to Baal Peor, or Baal Peor, and separated themselves unto that shame. Separated themselves. We were supposed to be separated to Yahweh, separated unto him, but they chose to be separated unto that shame of following after Baal Peor, or false idols and false gods. And then our ancestors' abominations were according to as they loved. But the Most High, what he chose and what he saw and his vision and his plan was that our fathers were as the first ripe in the fig tree at her first time. First fruit, firstborn, set apart, holy unto him, right? So to kind of go in on that point a little further and to kind of get ready to close this out, the Messiah, there's a parable in Luke 13. There's a parable in Luke chapter 13. And it just starts at the top. And let's see if we can get some understanding on this. Verse 1, it says, there were present at that season some that told him of the Galileans, whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices. And Yahushua answering said unto them, suppose ye that these Galileans were sinners above all the Galileans because they suffered such things? I tell you, nay, but except you repent, you shall all likewise perish. So that would be in consideration like us trying to tell the Messiah that someone was more wicked than us and that they don't deserve, anything from him, obviously because they're wicked, right? And he says, or those 18 upon whom the tower in Siloam fell and slew them, think ye that ye were sinners above all men that dwelt in Jerusalem? I tell you, nay, but except you repent, you shall likewise perish. And he also spoke this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought the fruit thereon and found none. So he's planted a fig tree. A certain man planted a fig tree and searched for the fruit, and he found none. Then he said unto the dresser of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I am come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and found none. Cut it down. Why cumbereth it the ground? So because after these 3 years, this fig tree has produced no fruit, he's done with it. He's saying, cut them down, cut it down, get rid of it. Now, if this is representing a group of people or a nation of Israel, this could be seen as a time that we have the Messiah dwelling with us. We should be bearing fruit, but yet we haven't bared fruit yet. And answering him, he said unto him, Adonai, let it alone this year, till I shall dig about it, and dug it, and if it bear fruit, well, and if not, then after that thou shalt cut it down. So After the 3 years and not seeing any fruit, a certain man that had planted the vineyard, the fig tree, was ready to destroy the fig tree. But the fig tree, the dresser of the vineyard, then he said unto the dresser of the vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and find none. Cut it down, why cometh the ground? And he said unto him, Adonai, let it alone this year also. Let it go another year. I shall dig about it and dug it, and it shall bear fruit. And if not, then we shall cut it down. That is grace and mercy. That is grace and mercy. Go ahead,
All praises to water. I just wanted to give some more context. So this is a another parable, a microcosm of Masha and the Most High and Yahweh and the Most High. Because remember when Masha came off the mountain and Most High says, "Move out the way, Masha. Let me mop these people up." And Masha says, "No, don't do that. You know, the Egyptians going to be like, you couldn't even deliver your people." So this right here is referring to how Masha was the divine dresser saying, "Have mercy. Let me teach these people." And now in Messiah's days, the Most High is telling the Messiah, just cut down these people. And Messiah is being our intercessor, saying, give me some time, Father. Let me dung it. Dung it means to how we use what's that word? Manure. Manure. So even today, farmers use manure to fertilize their crops. So this is Messiah being the intercessor for us, saying, Most High, Abba, give me some time to fertilize these people, and then if they don't bear fruit, then let's kill the Israelites. This text is cultural from start to finish. This book is cultural. Fubu. All praises.
Khan. So, and when you add in that context, and you add in the fact that the fig tree is the Most High's firstborn, representation of the firstborn or the first fruit, those that have been set apart unto Him, and yet we weren't bearing the fruit and passing down that responsibility that we were supposed to, and then we would have a Savior sent, such as the Messiah Himself, and He was to be able to stand in the gap for us and say, let's give them some more time and then see if they bear fruit. That is the grace and mercy that's been bestowed upon us by them, to have that chance and opportunity to get it right. And what you read earlier, for the Kathab reading, Isaiah chapter 55 and 7, it says, let the wicked, this verse 6 says, seek ye Yahweh while he may be found, and call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our Elohim, for he will abundantly pardon. So the Most High has always had that grace and mercy upon his people, and you know, this parable explaining the part with the fig tree is just another way, like I just said, that the Messiah standing in the gap for the Israelites, and him being the mediator and buying us that time, and the Most High giving us that mercy and that time to turn away from the sins, which will be equated to a time to bear fruit, a time to do the things that we're supposed to do, and then the Most High will pardon us for all of our wickedness. So, um, all praises for that, and the water for the edification as well. Um, and family, that is pretty much the class. Summer is nigh, meaning that all of the signs and things that we are beginning to see, the leaves beginning to shoot forth prophetically. Um, it's just showing what time frame and time period that we are in, according to the Most High's prophetic timeline. We don't know, exactly who, what, when, and where, and what's going to happen next, but we know that we can just at least tell that things are wrapping up. And like the Messiah said, we can tell when the leaves shoot forth. We can see that summer is nigh. Likewise, as when we see the judgments and things that he said that we would see, famines, pestilence, earthquakes, plagues, signs in the sun, moon, and the stars, then we would know that we are getting closer to his return, and also the return of the order um, that he set, where the Israelites will now uh, go back to the forefront, and no longer be the tail, but once again become the head after we get through this judgment period. So all praises for that, family. If anyone has any questions or comments, you can feel free to unmute at this time.
If nobody has anything, I wanted to go back. I forgot to mention it. If you go back to Jeremiah 24, and you open up with the parable about the fig tree,
Mm-hmm.
in verse 5, Jeremiah 24 and 5. Thus saith Yahweh, the Elohim of Yasharallah, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them that are carried away captive of Yahweh, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. So this is a what we call a double entendre or dual prophecy, because this generation they physically went to the physical land of Babylon, and the caveat is it was for their good, because those who stayed home, or those who refused to listen and bow their necks to Nebuchadnezzar, the Most High was going to punish them double. So being sent to captivity was for our good, and the prophecy is I'm going to these good figs who I sent into captivity, I'm going to bring them home again. So this is for our generation as well, because this whole world still belongs to Babylon. And people who don't know prophecy or don't know world history, they fail to realize that, especially the Christian apologists. Like, everyone went into captivity. Their rebuttals are really baseless and uneducated. But we are still the generation of the good figs who were sent into captivity for our good, to learn a lesson. What's that saying a parents should say, babe? This is going to hurt me more than it hurt you. So the slave ships, Jim Crow, it was for our good. It was for our good. Now,
Absolutely. All praises for that edification as well. And yeah, I mean, we saw the destruction that came upon the land as well, and he already told him, just he didn't have to do any of that, but he was like, look, just go do what I'm telling you to do, get married, build houses, have kids, and then after this time I'm gonna bring you back. I mean, you don't even gotta tell. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, how good, you know how great of a power is the Most High for him to. He's telling you what's gonna happen. You don't have to work. They don't have to. They if they really was listening and didn't stress, they would. He's telling them, like, you're gonna be all right. Just go and just do what I'm telling you to do. Go. You see what I'm saying?
do this bid. I'm going to protect you even in captivity. I'm going to be with you, but you got to go away now. You got to go
Right.
away.
Like, I still gotta do this, but it's gonna be straight. He could have just sent you and not given you no type of word of reprieve or like hope or anything. But the Most High is just so, amazing that, he does that. Even now, he's telling us, he's going to bring us back, and the promises of the beginning or the end from the beginning and things like that. So all praises to the Most High for his faithfulness. Anybody else have any comments or anything?
Shalom, my spot. Can I be heard clear?
Con.
Um, all praises, tell you down like how about Shani Al Shafi, his goodness, mercy endures forever. I just wanted to quickly come up here and just say a lot like one of the prayer call readings that Abijah did earlier in the week. I just wanted to echo the sentiments of hearing these points, how vital it is to do exactly as Abba tells us to do. He literally is our life. And if you go to the left hand or to the right, it could end up in death, even in regards to what y'all just brought out regarding going to Babal or going to Babylon. Our people, some of them was like, nah, we're going to fight. Some of them was like, nah, we're going to go to Egypt. And the Most High was like, all right, well, you think you're going to run away on horses, you're going to get chased down by even faster horses. You think you're going to fight, you're going to get beat down. So, it's just vital how important it is to just do what Abba says, because ultimately it is for our good. But I'll yield with that. All praises.
All praises out the water for that. Anybody else? All right. Well, if not, I appreciate everyone's time and attention. I pray that the Most High allows you all to enjoy the rest of your day and be with you throughout the rest of the week. I don't know if you want to come back up, Ak, and pray us out, um, and and then we'll meet again next week. All right.
Khan, I was going to call on Zamaria if he had a mic. I just wanted to two announcements I did forget. Yah willing, Makasha by Yah, if he spares my life, I'm gonna continue with Just Give Me Book on Wednesday nights. So be on the lookout for that text message Wednesday nights at 7. And then y'all willing, I know I can't be ready this week, but maybe next week, if the weather permits, the street team is going to continue to go back out to our spot to try to teach the Most High's people as the last days wraps up. So just be on the lookout for that. That's all I had. I really enjoyed this teaching. Again, it just lines up with culture over everything. Pray the Most High continue to increase you and bless you for your sacrifices. You had anything else?